Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into a really fascinating new paper by George Profitiliottis. It looks at the search for alien life, but through a totally unexpected lens. Instead of focusing on astrophysics or giant radio dishes, his work suggests this search actually has a lot more to do with psychology, sociology, and, well, human nature itself.
Because think about it like this. We normally treat our telescopes as these objective windows looking out into a vast universe. But what if they're actually more like mirrors, reflecting our own deepest desires for humanity? Are we really just looking for extraterrestrial life, or are we secretly searching for a specific narrative about our own future? It completely flips everything upside down, suggesting that our scientific parameters might literally be limited by our own human hopes.
The author puts it perfectly with this quote: SETI's imaginary is implicitly linked in an intrinsic, co-constitutive way to a social imaginary of humanity's future. Now, to put that into perspective, what Profitiliottis is arguing here is profound. He's saying the way we imagine looking for extraterrestrial intelligence is deeply and permanently tied to the kind of future we want to build for ourselves. The two ideas completely feed into each other. You just can't separate the scientific search for aliens from the deeply human dream of what finding those aliens would actually mean for us.
Okay, so here's our agenda for today. We'll cover 1. What SETI is really seeking, 2. A social imaginary of humanity, 3. The complete discovery trap, 4. Reframing through futures literacy, and 5. A new way to search.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, what SETI is really seeking.
So on the surface, SETI researchers are scanning the stars to find concrete evidence of intelligent, thinking alien civilizations. The traditional focus has almost always been on finding sapient extraterrestrials, right? We aren't just looking for microbes on Mars or some weird chemical imbalance in an exoplanet's atmosphere. We want a society. We're searching for massive megastructures or directed radio broadcasts, essentially something out there that builds, communicates, and thinks as a peer in the vastness of space.
Which leads perfectly into Section 2, a social imaginary of humanity.
You see, SETI isn't just a cold, calculated scientific endeavor. It's driven by what sociologists call a social imaginary. Now, a social imaginary is basically a shared collective vision of the future. It is the unspoken dream of a society. And this dream is so powerful that it actively shapes the institutions we build, the values we hold, and, crucially, the exact types of scientific pursuits we actually choose to fund and focus on right now.
The dream, basically, is that finding aliens makes a desirable human future possible. The paper points out that we bundle all our hopes into these non-fictional conviction narratives. Essentially, we're holding on to this underlying dream that contacting a highly advanced alien civilization will somehow unlock a better, post-discovery future for humanity. I mean, think about it. If we find a species that has survived for 1 million years, it proves that it's possible for us to survive our own technological adolescence. Finding them isn't just a data point. In our collective imagination, it literally becomes a passage to our own salvation or enlightenment.
But here is where things get tricky. Section 3, the complete discovery trap. Because scientists, like all of us honestly, are subconsciously aiming for this glorious post-discovery future, their research ideas become severely restricted. To trigger that utopian shift in humanity, you need a complete discovery. We're talking undeniable, smoking gun evidence of a sapient civilization. And by hyper-focusing on this need for a perfect, narrative-fulfilling breakthrough, we create a massive bottleneck. We might be completely ignoring countless ambiguous techno-signatures or bizarre non-human behaviors out there simply because they just don't fit our dream.
You can see how this directly limits the science. Current SETI research is somewhat boxed in by the need for this undeniable, complete discovery. But if we break away from this strict post-discovery narrative, we dramatically widen our scope. A broadened search lets us explore vastly more diverse ideas, looking for things that might be completely foreign to our own human narrative.
So how do we break out of this? Section 4, reframing through futures literacy.
The first tool introduced to fix this is something called futures literacy. By developing this capability, scientists can begin to recognize how their dreams of tomorrow are dictating and ultimately limiting their telescope time today. It's an amazing realization. It's all about becoming aware of your own biases. Once you realize that your vision of a utopian human future is acting as a filter on your scientific instruments, you can actually start to remove that filter. You become literate in how your imagined future changes your present reality.
And then you pair futures literacy with triple loop learning, and that is where the breakthrough really happens. Triple loop learning isn't just about tweaking your methods or even asking if you're pursuing the right goals. It is a profound reflection that questions the deepest underlying paradigms of why you have those goals in the first place. Through this, researchers don't just change their search algorithms, they fundamentally change the entire philosophical paradigm of why they are looking up at the stars at all.
Bringing us to our final section, number 5, a new way to search.
Prof. doesn't just leave this as high-level philosophy. He actually proposes a hands-on workshop designed specifically for scientists to walk them through these exact 3 steps. Step 1, reveal the imaginary. Get scientists to acknowledge the hidden human narratives driving them. Step 2, reframe the desirable future. Disconnect the science from the need for some utopian passage. And step 3, rethink present research ideas, which is where the actual scientific breakthroughs can happen.
The whole goal of this proposed workshop is to help scientists untangle their very human hopes from their rigorous scientific methods. By explicitly identifying these narratives and separating the inquiry from the utopian expectations, the result should be a massive new wave of research ideas. Basically, we stop looking for ourselves in the sky and we start looking for what is actually there.
It is absolutely a thrilling thought to end this explainer on. If we can achieve this future's literacy, if we can change how we view ourselves and our own destiny, what new discoveries await us in the cosmos? By simply reflecting on our own human nature and clearing away the narratives we constantly project onto the universe, we might finally open our eyes to the true mysteries waiting out there in the dark. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack this incredible paper. Keep looking up, but never forget to look inward too.